I don't want to like not social distance. Like I see other people not social distancing.
They're not, eh? There's 15 trucks. So they're throwing in my face today.
Calling your name.
I know. Telling me come eat
Go
me.
team, go team. Okay, so this is all? This is the water?
No, but just you gotta cross the bridge and walk there. Because I haven't been here so long. I'm confused.
What?
Know what you want to do with my hand? See the paddle boats? You want to go on a paddle boat?
Oh, that's cute.
Okay.
Do you have to paddle?
Oh God. Forget it, we're not going because you're gonna be like, I'm lazy. You have me suckering the whole thing out my whole self. I didn't sign up for that.
What's this over here? A restaurant or
Good question. It's new, never seen it.
pirates something?
I guess that's the terrace for this place. Voila. Voila.
Oh, look, look. Oh, you missed it.
What?
There's a guy flying in the air.
Oh, those things. Yeah, they have the, whatever you call that, cord thing.
A ride or something.
You want to do it? I'll throw you up on there.
Oh, you want to get a tattoo?
One more time. Oh, no. You want to get a tattoo?
No.
I'll give you one.
You want to go swimming?
No. I can't.
Oh, that's a video. He got on one knee and he proposed to me. Yeah. I just got engaged. Oh, this is crazy. Can you believe that? I have to turn this up. Michelle, praise the Lord. Look at how good God is. I'm gonna get married. I'm engaged. This is no joke. This ring is gold and diamonds. Gold and diamonds, my friend. Gold and diamonds, okay? This is not a joke. This is not a joke ring. Like his daughter picked this out. I'm engaged. I'm engaged. And whose name is that?
Future wife to be.
Oh my goodness. So yes. 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 This is amazing. And his daughter got me a perfume. The first thing I said to myself is, "Oh, I smell Kellyanne." That's what the first thing I said to myself. And she left me perfume. So yes, this is the most perfect Valentine's Day ever. 2021. The most perfect
How you doing, everybody?
groom to be ever.
The luckiest guy in the world to have this woman, that's for sure.
Groom to be ever. We're waiting for our wedding to kiss on the lips. Oh. Love you, baby.
Love you too, sweetheart.
Just here for Yanni's birthday. Happy birthday. What's your camera, Yanni? You don't want a picture of your birthday?
Yeah.
Okay. Who's the best singer here? Who's the best singer?
You.
Everyone. Not
Who's the worst singer? That's what I'm looking for. Okay, you're gonna sing.
You sing, eh?
Are you okay? Oh, okay.
Okay, no, you're not gonna get the four.
Pluck it out.
Oh,
This thing on.
Pick one of the candles.
Physics kid, man.
yeah. Go ahead. You got this. You got this, nephew. You got this. You got this.
It takes a while, that's what I'm saying. It was like,
Oh my goodness.
You getting there?
it's defective before.
We'll
It's a
sing.
defective four.
Four keeps on giving us problems today.
It's not
Happy
birthday
to
you.
Happy birthday
to
you. Happy birthday, dear Yanni. Happy birthday to you.
Go with that one first.
Are you one? Are you two? Are you? Okay.
I guess he's more than three.
Yay!
Yeah, but no,
Make a
that's for
wish.
that one?
Make a wish.
Make a wish.
Oh, it's there. It's there. He's wishing.
You're supposed to
He's
pray.
gonna spit all
You're supposed
over
to
the
say a
cake.
prayer and wish.
Yeah, exactly.
Heavenly Father. He said a prayer. Okay, good. So many times and in so many ways, you made me feel that I mattered just for being myself. I always carry those memories in my heart, along with the love I feel for you. Happy birthday. Can't wait to see it.
Where's Bill?
Where's my buddy?
My hand sanitizer when I.
Oh
my
no!
eyes, it gets worse.
Oh, this is so beautiful already. Like, oh,
One of our favorite
fire, fire. Oh.
No problem. I love you.
Okay, so you just finished. That video was about me and Yanni and our walk together. I wanted you to walk with us and see what it was like for me to have this time with Yanni. You know, it wasn't long enough because it was a short time. There's so many things that I did not get to understand about him. I feel like he was about to embark on being a husband, but it was crassly ripped from us, that aspiration. In the end there you see his goal board was we were going to get married in August, and he died March 31st, 2021. He was last, after last being in the presence of myself, his brother, and the superintendent. So we met, he came from a very low social status, and he made such a big name for himself. He gained access to a lot of the elite circles in the world, that being Macy Gray, Akon, and many more high, pro and NBA basketballers were part of his circle, um, coming from a very modest background. So, anyways, his pedigree or the elite circles that he was in was not the reason why I was with him. We met when the lockdown happened. I ended up following my mom up north with her hippie friends, and Yani was there in Coburg working in the studio, and he was helping my mom so much that you have to have a stone of heart, a heart of stone, not to fall in love with someone like that. And then we had a conversation that just, hit it off right away, and he didn't want to be a creepy guy, but he, we could see that we liked each other, so it was a good sign. And after 10 years of not dating, to have an open door was really nice. So we worked on this song for Lisa Nichols called Extraordinary, and it says, brighter than all I've seen, brighter than all I've seen, you are my motivation, you are captivating, I want to be where you are, close your eyes, can you feel me, can you feel me? And then it says, what else, what are the other words? Your presence just lights up the world, all the joy that's been spread. Your every breath is beautiful. I want to see you get through. And now that I listen to the words a little bit more, I question if he was trying to speak to me at that time. So let's fast forward to him. So our relationship. So then we started a relationship at that point, after that point, and our relationship went through ups and downs. Perhaps he was a little bit of a bad boy, and there was, a female that introduced us to each other who inserted herself in an inappropriate way, and we had a pause, but we got through that, and it because Yani was a safe space for a lot of people, and he was a safe space for me too, and I could just see what a good person he was. Like, this is why he was a double platinum artist, producer, music producer with songs on the radio, who had become very well connected because he was just a good person. He made everybody feel valuable, like they had value, and near to the end, he was really preaching the word of God, just preaching about God, always telling people about Jesus, about pray to God, pray to Jesus. He brought like 2 of his friends to Christ, but for sure that I know of, and they were praying every night on the phone, brought families together. He might not have gone to school and had a whole educational or rich background, as in like he wasn't rich, but the most important thing in life is to say that I have done everything that I was sent here to do, and he did everything he was sent here to do. Before he left, he did everything. I would say he did everything he was sent here to do. And he was one thing, a big proponent in his life was his daughter. That day that I met him, he was on the phone with his daughter the whole time. So I'm looking and I see this man is on the phone comforting his daughter about COVID-19. This man is helping my mother. This man is having a good conversation with me. I really, really liked him. And it turns out he really, really liked me too. And it's like, you don't know what you've got till it's gone, because once he died and I could see that I was the woman in his life, and he wasn't playing games, and all of the people that he's known for 30, 40 years, and that he was just golden. He was just golden. Platinum doesn't even explain it. He's like more like a white gold. So I wanted to read a little bit. So this is the Christmas card. I showed up for Christmas, and then I showed up at his door with a Christmas tree and a whole bunch of Christmas stuff. And he was just very endeared. And this is the Christmas card. Lord Yani, you must allow me to whistle the song of your voice in my life. It's been 10 months now, and what an occasion to affectionately tell you how God has brought to life so many things in this relationship. Songs, companionship, church, belonging, prayer, ring giving, generosity. As we unwrap the surprise of experiencing each other for the first time, you have stepped forth as a valorous man in my life. I have a good inheritance and portion from God in you. You bring me hope, happiness, pork chops, and a Greek connection to Canis. Merry Christmas, love, Michelle 2020. So that was my Christmas card to him, and I mean every word in there. And then this paper that you saw in the video is the song that he wrote, that he called me about. This was in February, I think, and he would write songs, and it's just, the last verse is, love you. I just want to feel inside my heart is, all I want to feel inside my heart is the love for you, love for you, this love. So, and then this that you saw in the video is the chart that I made, that was his eating schedule after he got diagnosed with cancer. So fast forward to when he got diagnosed with cancer. I came here, we were broken up. I came here, again, we went through ups and downs, I tell you. So I came here, I went to Montreal on the 13th, and then I stayed over at his super's house while he got the results. And he came back, and he sat us down, and he just told us what's up. And I had made him the ravioli, stuffed ravioli with cheese in it or whatever, and some chicken wings, and he wouldn't touch it. So he was very clear that he wanted to eat healthy, and he wasn't going to touch any food that wasn't healthy. So we were, feverishly online trying to figure out what to eat, and this is the schedule that I came up with. And so I made him all of this stuff here, and I packaged it, put it in the fridge or the freezer or whatever. And that was the night, after that night, February the 14th, because I had to go back the next day to go back to work. He proposed to me, and the only thing I regret is not staying longer with him. I thought we had a longer time together. He proposed to me, and I said yes. And then he wrote on his goals that he was focusing on that we were going to have a wedding in August. Obviously that didn't happen. So I'm here the day that, so the long weekend was coming up, and I wanted to wait until the long weekend because I had been there for a week in March for his birthday, and yeah, I had been there for a week in March for his birthday. And then what am I thinking here? And then I thought, okay, the long weekend is coming up. He looks like he's getting sicker. We really got to get a game plan for me to stay home with him, because that was my home. So
I wanted him to wait the long weekend. Thank goodness I didn't, because he was dead before the long weekend. So what happened is, he's like, "Are you coming out?" And I'm like, "Okay, I will try." And then I tried to come on the Friday, but there was no ride. This was, I think, the 27th or the 26th of March, whenever the weekend falls on there. And so I came the Saturday, and I was supposed to leave the Sunday. And then the Sunday came, and he asked me if I could stay for the morning. So I stayed for the morning. And if I could stay and just miss the morning of work and head down. Well, I prayed to God like 5 times and asked him already to forgive me. I told my boss that I was having my allergies, and she said to me, "You can't come in." And I had been there like 100 times with my allergies, and I had also been in a place where the Toronto Public Health said that if you've been here, there was 20 people. I was at a church, and they were there was an outbreak, and my boss still kind of wanted me to come, and I still had to kind of fight not to come in. So she wasn't usually the type to be like, "You can't come in." So here I was on my way back down, but she was telling me I couldn't come in, and I was going back and forth with her because I had just gotten some cards from his nephew. His nephew came and visited, and this was one of his closest connection nephews that he has a good connection with. But we didn't take any pictures because Yani didn't really want to take any pictures. His nephew has made millions in hockey cards, and he gave me a whole box of hockey cards for the kids back at school, and I wanted to give it to them for Easter. And so I was fighting with my boss, well, going back and forth with her about how I could come in, but she wouldn't let me. So I went back home, got a COVID test like she wanted, and I was looking for a ride to head back to Montreal, and I found something. I couldn't find anything on Papa Ride or Kangaroo Ride like I usually do, and for some reason it just clicked to my mind to go on Kijiji. So I looked on Kijiji, and I found a ride for 12 a.m. in the morning. That was the only ride I saw from Toronto to Montreal. So I hopped on it as quickly as I could, and then he called later to switch it over to 2 o'clock. And I'm scared, like, what is happening? Who is this guy? But I had to be there. So, all of this rigmarole, all of this, frustration and risk, and going on with this ride to get back down to Montreal, and my friends were on the phone hyperventilating and having such a hard time. Me as well, not, also having a hard time. This was not easy for me. But I got back to him the Tuesday morning. He was supposed to go to the doctor's. His feet were swelling on the Saturday that I was there, and the Sunday on the Sunday, and we tried to convince him to go to the doctor's. He didn't want to go to the doctor's, and then on Monday, his nurse came, and she said he's fine. So that kind of deflated our concerns. But in hindsight, 2020, this was due to a blockage in his arteries, because he was, his lymph nodes and the fat inside of his cells was creating blockage, so he was having an aneurysm, and we did not know. So the Tuesday came, and I tried everything to get him to go to the doctors. He called them and canceled an hour before, and I called them back and I said that he's coming in, and I tried to contact people to say, "Oh my goodness, he's not going in, what do I do?" I tried praying. The only thing I didn't do is go on my knees and beg him. If I could go back, I would have begged him to go to the hospital. So he didn't go. My heart was very trepidatious. I was very scared at that point. Like my heart was up, like my breathing was up here, and I was just like, okay, what do I do? What do we do? What is gonna happen? So he called. So the doctor called that day that he canceled, and she said she would make another appointment with him for Thursday. And gosh, he came off the phone saying this doesn't look good, and he was getting down. And this was the first time I ever really saw him get down about the whole cancer issue. So I tried to make nice and just, do things that he likes, recreational things, so that we could just relax and he would be relaxed. But there was nothing to relax about. Anyways, he woke up the next morning. I'm in my video doing my Psalm video, and and you can hear him coughing in the background. He was also coughing because all the fluid was not going down. This is something his brothers could explain to you. They were explaining it to me. But anyways, and I made him an egg, his sour sop, his watermelon, and his piece of almond bread, and his avocado. And he ate half of his egg, and he ate all of his watermelon, as he always did, and had a little bit of his sour sap. And then I made him some lemon tea because of the coughing, and I sat him up, and he woke up that morning saying, I feel better. I feel a little bit better. I feel a little bit better today. I wonder if he was lying, because how could you feel better and then die an hour later? I just don't get it. So I made him his food. I said, okay, today's the day. Today is the day we are getting to the hospital. Today's the day we are preparing, because we are going to get you to the hospital. So I said, we're going to walk half of the room today, just a couple steps, just half of the room. And I was doing that. I was like, the weekend that I was there, we went out to see the rocks, and he has like a little waterfall and a cliff by his house, and I got him outside for 5 minutes. How did I do that? By going out first. I went out first because I felt like him being so sedentary was what was killing him. So I headed out. I went for 5 minutes, came back in. He's like, that fast? I said, yeah. And then he went out and went for 5 minutes and came back. And then he wouldn't go to the hospital. So you know what I did? I think it was it the Tuesday night? I don't know. I went to the doctor. To so that he would go. I didn't actually end up going to the doctor because I had terrible at booking stuff, and it just didn't happen. Anyways, but he still didn't go to the doctor. That one didn't work. With that one, I just wish I had just spent more time with him, because that didn't get him to go to the doctor anyway. So anyways, I am just trying to be as quick as possible with this video. So propped him up instead of lying down, put the pillows up on his back so he'd be sitting up, and then he got up to use the washroom. And then, by himself with his walker. He was having weakness. I know he had fallen down a few times, but he got up to use the washroom. Then he's sitting in the washroom. I got ready quickly so I could go get some change to do laundry. He's like, what are you doing? We have change here. Because I had gone weeks prior in January to go get a bunch of change for laundry, so we wouldn't have to keep bugging Joe about it. And he told me where it is and everything, so he was cognitively there at that time. So I went, I did the laundry, I came back. He still wasn't, he hadn't moved from the toilet. He's doing his business with the door open as usual. So then I said, okay, well, what's going on? What are you doing? Sometimes he does sit on the toilet for a long time, just pushing and doing his business, because his body's going through all these different changes. So I made a phone call to the tax place, and then I would go check on him. And then I made a phone call to the tax place again, and then I would check on him. And then the third time I made a phone call to the tax place and I checked on him, and I can see all these receipts on my phone. And he said, I'm too weak to get up. So I'm like, oh my goodness. Okay, I'm going to help you, The night before, my son had advised me to just be his rock. So I was being tougher than I usually am. So then Joe comes to the door, and I'm like kind of freaking out. And I'm like, if I call you, you gotta be coming, because I'm gonna try to get him up. If I can, I'm gonna call you. So he goes. I try to, at 1, 2, 3, we try to lift. Nothing's happening. So then I call Doe. Doe comes. We try to lift him up. Nothing's happening. We call 911. They come, and they really were taking their time. They were taking their sweet time. The lady on the phone kept on being like, they're not there yet. They're not there yet. They're not there yet. Finally got there. It seemed like they were relaxing. It seems like they were taking a nap. That their heart rate at the time that they are taking a nap and the time that they need to resuscitate somebody and get them to the hospital as soon as possible is the same. It's French time. I have a new word called French time, okay? So they are taking so long and stopping to talk to me about everything, like the weather, and I was getting frustrated. I had to close myself in the room, and I just started saying, God, get them to the hospital. God, get them to the hospital. God, please get them to the hospital. And God answered that prayer. They got to the hospital all right. So in between that time too, his brother called. I've told him I've just called the police. They're on their way here. So he came here while the ambulance were here. He's holding up his brother. They were not able to lift him and get him onto the stretcher. So it took a whole lot to just get him out. And then there was talk of, if his heart stops beating, what do we do? His brother said, start it again. So the first guy who came in, because he didn't see the brother there, said, you can come in. You can come into the ambulance. And then when his brother was there, they were like, you can't come in. If I had known that I can't come into the ambulance and there was a chance of him dying, I would have said my goodbyes. I would have kissed him. I would have done something like that. But anyways, we didn't even have time for that. So he gets to the hospital. We get to the hospital. He hasn't checked in yet, so we have to stand outside until they let us in. So we're outside for maybe half hour, and then they lead us back to this room. Where I should have known that my hopes and dreams concerning marrying this man was gone. I should have known what they were going to tell me. Because I'm like, we're so far from the they took us in this little maze to this back room with a love seat and a regular couch, and it was too comfortable. I'm like, why are they're going to forget us back here? No, they weren't going to forget us, because the lady, his doctor came, and she was on her knees, and she's just like, we tried everything. And I thought they were going to say, oh, but he's got to stay here, he's a little sick, he's a little damaged. I didn't think they were going to say he was with the Lord. So that's what she said, and I was just like, no, like, I could not believe it. So I asked her to bring him back, and going back, I would have asked God to bring him back. I said, God, bring him back. God, bring him back. You can do everything. God, bring him back. And then I was asking Yanni to come back. I was asking him, but he didn't have the power to bring himself back. Only God does. So, I don't know. It was just... everything happened so fast, It's so fast. I'm happy that I got to spend my last moments with him. I'm happy that, usually I'm an A-type person. I would be going crazy busy over him. But I spent my time relaxing with him, just being with him. So that was very good. And then, everything that happened from there is I called his daughter right away because I wanted her to be able to see him before he left the hospital. And because she was very upset about how her grandmother had passed last time, and she felt like she was very uninformed. So I wanted to make sure to give her every step of the way what was going on. This is the first major death I've ever had in my life, and it's shocking to see that this is how quickly this can happen, So, hold on to the ones you love. You don't know how long you have them. I just wanted to tell this story really quickly. It's been 30 minutes now, so it hasn't been really quickly, but hopefully you can make heads or tails of it and have a good day. Just hug those you love, be with them as much as you can, because this life is like, you are like a leaf in a tree, and when you get blown away, that's it. That's it. So love the ones you have. They're more precious and more golden than you could even ever imagine. They're more precious than you could even ever imagine. And may the Lord bless you and keep you, make his face shine upon you, and give you peace that passes all understanding. And I just want to say one thing about Yanni, is that he loved everyone onto the end. He was very loving. He messaged his daughter, I think that very night, about "I love you" to her. We had messaged back and forth, "I love you." His friends and everybody, he was just very loving to. So don't be afraid to say "I love you," because it may be the last opportunity that you ever have to love like Yanni did, unconditionally, and just know that everyone has value, and treat them like that.